Unlock the door to mystery with one very short story. The micro-podcast filled with morally complex characters, twists you won't predict, and endings you won't forget. Every episode is a brief, intense journey, perfect for listeners who crave mystery, intrigue, and stories that leave you thinking long after the tale ends. Today's episode begins now. Today's episode, 1,900,072, will begin after this special message. A man wakes in a sterile hotel room, his past scrubbed clean, his identity fractured. On his wrist, a barcode. In his hand, a letter written in his own handwriting, warning him not to investigate the echoes of a life he's forbidden to remember. His name is Silas, or maybe it isn't. Each assignment erases more of who he was. Each pill he swallows keeps him obedient. But when fragments of love, loss, and betrayal begin to surface, Silas discovers a truth more dangerous than any target he's ever been sent to kill. Someone wants his memory buried. Someone else wants it restored. And every hour he hesitates, he edges closer to becoming his own executioner. The Lethean by J.L. Stroud Jr. is a psychological thriller, laced with rain-slicked streets, haunting echoes of the past, and a protagonist who may be both assassin and victim, hunter and hunted. For readers who love the paranoia of Robert Ludlum, the atmosphere of Philip K. Dick, and the relentless pacing of Lee Child, this is a mystery that asks one impossible question. If you can't trust your own mind, who can you trust? Download the ebook, The Lethean, and other books by J.L. Stroud Jr. at jlstroudjr.com. Link in the podcast description. And now, today's episode, 1,900,072. Cal Hargrove tore through the tree line like the woods themselves were trying to strangle him. Pine needles whipped his face, and the muddy clay sucked at his boots. Every breath felt like swallowing fire. Behind him, hounds bellowed, hot, righteous voices, while prison guards cracked rifle shots into the dark. He didn't dare turn back. He knew those men. Good old boys with badges and cigars and the kind of appetites that wanted a man's blood to rinse out years of humiliation. The spotlight of Reedsville State Penitentiary still burned in his skull. He dug under that fence with his bare damn hands. Another gunshot ripped bark inches from his head. Cal spat out a curse, ducked low, and darted between pines. He was a stubborn bastard, and stubborn bastards either survived or died pissed off. Then he saw her. Small, maybe 12, white dress smeared with dirt, curly dark hair splayed over pine straw like a fallen angel, barely breathing, eyes half open, cloudy with pain. The moonlight made her skin look cold as butter. Cal almost tripped over her. "What the hell?" he growled, skidding to a stop. She looked like his daughter, Clara, sun freckles and all. He knelt, his hands shaking, not from fear, but from surprise that his feet stopped running. This wasn't part of the plan. Plans didn't include little girls bleeding out in the woods. "Hey," he whispered, rough voice gentling. "You stay with me. You hear?" Her eyes lifted, just a flicker. She seemed to recognize something in his face. Then came a memory. Sharp, unwelcome. Clara screaming when he left for the last time. The front door slamming, his fist still throbbing, too proud to apologize, too stubborn to look back. He reached to lift the girl, and his hand slid straight through her shoulder like she was fog. Cal stumbled back so hard he fell on his ass. "What kind of trick?" "You're dead, Mr. Hargrove," the girl said. Her voice was calm, too calm, like a Sunday preacher's daughter reading a scripture she'd memorized years ago. "Been dead a while." "No, I ain't." Cal pressed a palm against his chest, heart pounding. "Feel that? That's alive." "That's memory," she corrected. "Right now you're just holding on." He shook his head hard enough to rattle teeth. "I got guards chasing me. Hounds. Bullets." "Memories," she repeated. "Habit." He crawled closer, angry tremor in his limbs. "You ain't real." She tilted her head, studying him the way a crow studies a shiny coin. "I'm as real as death." The forest changed. The wind stopped. The crickets shut up like someone snapped their fingers. The trees, once thick and breathing, dissolved into shadow, forming a tunnel of black glass. "You think escape buys you freedom?" she asked. Cal realized she was standing now. No limp, no blood. Her eyes were bottomless. She held out a hand. "Come. Others are waiting." He didn't have a choice. Something stronger than fear dragged him upright. The world folded like pages turning. Hell had no fire. Not here. Just faces. Hundreds. Thousands. All half lit by some sourceless glow below them. Silent. Watching him. One stepped forward. A man with a dent in his skull Cal recognized from a bar fight gone too far. Another, a woman he'd robbed in a dry goods store, praying over trembling hands as he fled. A third, younger, too young. They closed in. "Cal Hargrove," the man rasped. "Remember me?" Cal's voice cracked. "I ain't meant to be here. I ain't dead." "You died," the girl said. 2 nights ago. Guard bullet to the neck. You fell before you reached the fence." He grabbed his throat. Smooth skin. No wound. Lies. "You keep running," she said softly. "Every night. Every loop. And when you find me, you choose to help." Ghosts closed around him, rage simmering in silence. She stepped close. "That's the only good thing you ever do." Cal swung, fists unable to land. His screams shattered into echo. The world blinked. He jerked upright in his prison bunk, gasping. Sweat soaked his shirt. Tracks of moonlight cut across the concrete cell. A dream? Had to be. Except he felt pine bark under his fingernails. Dirt caked on his knees. And the same tiny shape. A girl curled in the corner of his mind like a bruise. "No," he muttered. "Hell if I'm letting a dream spook me." The morning siren hadn't sounded yet. Guard shadows long enough he could hide between them eased along the block. And there, under the leaking sink, he noticed a loose grate, exactly big enough to worm through. He grinned. Fate, luck, stubborn bull strength, whatever force drove him, was still with him. He kicked the grate free. He was in the woods again before the dogs even noticed. This time he didn't run blind. He felt a path underfoot, like muscle memory. The air smelled the same, the moon in the same spot. Cal froze. She lay exactly where she'd been before. Dress, hair, dirt. The whole scene replaying like a phonograph needle stuck in a groove. His heart stalled. "You're real," he whispered. She smiled, sad, knowing. "You always say that the second time." Cal's throat tightened. "Why you look like my little girl." "Death is kind," she answered. "To the dying." He swallowed fear like whiskey. "How many times?" Her eyes flickered with lightning storm sorrow. 1,000,000, she said. 900,072. Cal's knees buckled. "You keep trying to run," she said. "But every loop starts here, with a choice." He looked at her, at the face of a child who wasn't his, but reminded him of the one he'd failed. "What hell wants me?" His voice cracked. "The one you built," she said, "with your hands, with your anger." Behind her, shadows moved, the ghosts of his victims, hollow-eyed, patient. Cal touched her face. His fingers passed through again, but she leaned into the gesture anyway, letting him pretend. "I don't want to keep running," he whispered. "Then stop." She raised her hand. "The door awaits." The darkness behind her brightened, shapes forming, a train tunnel, a station, flames licking the walls. Cal didn't fight. For the first time in nearly 2,000,000 tries, he let her guide him, and when he stepped through the door, hell's echoing roar swallowed him whole. Thanks for listening to one very short story. If today's story hooked you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps us grow and keeps the suspense coming your way. Want to dive deeper? Check out the podcast description to learn more about the show and explore special offers from our sponsor. Until next time, keep dodging bullets and stay safe in the shadows.